What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Burning Crusade video. So today we are going to be looking at what is my wish list for my carry gear come the release of TBC. This will be at level 70. This will be doing some raiding. So let's go ahead and jump into what I think is the ultimate wish list, the ultimate guide to gearing your Paladin for carrying in TBC, specifically being geared enough to where you can go in and do Undead Stratholme. So first we're going to go into your Tier 4. So obviously this is the tanking Tier 4 set, and you can get these pieces in various raids from Gruul's Lair to Karazhan and Magtheridon's Lair. Basically, you are going to go for your 4-piece. Your bonuses really don't matter for carrying, to be completely honest, but you're going to go for the face guard, the hand guards, the legs, and the shoulders. So those are going to give you a hefty amount of spell power, armor, and mitigation just on their own. And then I believe that gives you 4 sockets to play with. You can either put in more spell power, or you can put in stamina and more defensive things, depending on how your tanking is going in raids and dungeons. If you're in this full list of gear, though, I don't think healers are going to have much of a hard time healing you, to be completely honest. So, next we're going to move on to the Boots of Righteous Fortitude. So, these are from Anzu in Heroic Sethic Halls. So I believe that means that you have to have a druid in your run who has either is on the quest or has done the quest and has the item, because they have to summon Anzu. So that makes these boots a little annoying to farm, but they have a hefty amount of spell power at 29. So I think they're completely worth it. And finding a druid and just telling them, hey, I'm not after the mount, I just really need these boots, I think they'll be more than willing to come along with you. So next is the Bracers of Dignity. These are from Harbinger Skyrus from Heroic Arcatraz. I believe this is the last boss. Again, you are getting a pretty hefty amount of spell power for your wrist slot at 19. Of course, armor, and it is a defensive piece as well. Next is going to be Girdle of Valorius Deeds. This is from Anos from Heroic Black Morass. This is just the final boss, so basically you're just going to be going in there every day, trying to get this belt. It is 20 spell power, hefty armor. It's a great item. So next is going to be probably one of the more difficult items to get on this list, and can definitely be replaced with something of, lesser difficulty. But this is a wish list, so we're going to go after it anyways. This is the Ancient Spell Cloak of the Highborne. This is from the world boss Kazakh. This is 36 spell power. Now, if I'm not having any trouble with mana pool or life pool, then just using the Cloak of the Devourer that I have now, which is 30 spell power, or going for something lesser is perfectly fine. But again, you know me, I want to have the best of the best, so the 36 spell power from this cloak is what I'm going after. So as of right now, in Phase 1, there are no rings that have more spell power than the Ring of the Fallen God. They don't exist. There's nothing that has higher. Now, if you don't have Ring of the Fallen God, or you've already done the quest and you can't get it, going and getting any spell power ring from any dungeon or any raid is going to be completely fine. Now, I have told every paladin that I know, and even some casters, that if they want to do AoE farming, man, there is nothing better than Wrath of Cenarius. So for paladins, obviously, at a 5% chance to proc, no internal cooldown, when you have, 50, 60, 70 mobs surrounding you, keeping this up at 100% uptime is incredibly easy. This chain in this quest chain to do is kind of a pain, but it will become easier in pre-patch and TBC. Twilight texts give more rep for the Cenarian Circle, as well as the bugs out in Silithus, become non-elites and should be much easier to kill. But you have to have the Wrath of Cenarius. It is absolutely monstrous. So next is two different options. So one is the Blade of the Archmage from Honor Hold, and then I believe, I can't remember exactly what his name was, an axe. That is the equivalent for the Horde side. It is, I believe, 159 spell power. I will not be going, I'll use it myself, but the thing that I'm going to be listing here is actually the sword from Gruul. The sword from Gruul is 203 spell power and is an absolutely godly weapon when it comes to AoE farming with Paladin. I know mages and warlocks will be going after this as hard as they can, but that has never stopped me from getting other items in the past through GDKP. So, you know, with the 40 spell power enchant, 243 spell power is just going to be impossible for me to turn down. And as I said, this is from Gruul, so, you know, just keep killing Gruul and eventually you'll get the sword. So next for trinkets, I am personally, especially if I'm, you know, worrying about UD strat, going to be using Mark of the Champion. 85 spell power to the undead is completely unbeatable as a static spell power. I do have Nelth's Tear, and I recently picked up the condensed Essence of Sapphiron, which has a great 130 spell power on use effect. For anybody else, I would just say pick up any spell power trinket you can that has a good use effect, and then get the Mark of the Champion as quick as you can. It is, like I said, 85 spell power to undead is just an unbeatable amount of spell power. So next is going to be the Librum of Eternal Rest. So the Library of Eternal Rest drops from Darkweaver Sith in regular Sethic Halls. This adds 47 spell power just to your Consecrate, but that is a hefty amount of extra damage. So just like Rings, there is simply no neck that is in Phase 1 of TBC that has more raw spell power than the Choker of the Fire Lord. Now, if I am having some issues with my Int and Stand pool, one thing that I can recommend you go after is the Adornment of Stolen Souls, which is 28 spell power from Prince Malchezaar in Karazhan. Now, of course, casters are going to be going after that neck, but the fact that you're going to be doing this as a 10-man gives you a pretty decent shot at eventually getting it, as long as you are killing Prince on a regular basis. Now, if you include the enchants that are available for spell power, including the Head Enchant, Cloak Enchant, Bracer, Gloves, and because I am an enchanter, I will have access to spell power to Rings, and then using the Leg Enchant to Undead, that brings our total spell power to 919 with no use effects active, and that is with Wrath of Cenarius procced. Now, if we do swap out the tier for a use effect trinket, something similar to the Essence of Saph, that's going to add around 130 or more spell power, bringing us well over the 1,000 spell power mark for Undead. Now, eventually we are, I believe this is in Phase 5 though, going to get the Shattered Sun Offensive Necklace. That has, I believe, 27 raw spell power on it. And if you are exalted with Aldor, it procs for 120 spell power and has a 66% uptime because of its internal cooldown. It's an insane neck. I highly recommend every Paladin go for Aldor Exalted simply because of the Shattered Sun neck. It is the... Oh goodness, I have it written down. The Shattered Sun Pendant of Acumen. It has 37 raw spell power and procs for the 120, so it's even more insane than I thought, but that will not be out for quite some time. So with the Consecrate Librum, you will actually have just an absolutely enormous 966 Consecrate spell damage. Now, with max rank Consecrate doing 512 on its own, that means your Consecrate to Undead without any use effects will be doing 179 damage. 179 damage per tick is absolutely insane. Add on to that a use effect, and you will be doing, I believe, a little over 190. So it is going to absolutely melt through the mobs in any of the 1 through 60 dungeons. Just absolutely crush them. So yeah, I think that completely covers it. That is my wish list for the items that I want at level 70 for Phase 1 of the Burning Crusade. Like I said, it comes out to 919 spell power versus the Undead. If you take out the Mark of the Champion for some other spell power trinket, you can take off about 40-ish spell power, so you're still looking at an incredibly high amount of spell power. I hope you guys found this video useful. I wish you the best of luck when it comes to farming this items, and as always, if you have any questions about Paladin, carrying, boosting, anything at all, you can always catch me every day at 9 p.m. PST over at twitch.tv/the Duke of TVC. I hope to see you guys there, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.